Divya Darling here with another video on Transcendental Brain Training Foundations. In this video, I wanted to talk through Maslow's motivation model because it informs our approach to mental maturation. If you haven't watched the video on embracing paradox, watch that first, come back to this. The mental maturation component is upgrading our thoughts and beliefs and the things that we hold to be true about the world. Now, a lot of people operate with a lot of different concepts, so many different stories of shoulds and musts, and it's honestly not until we have a transformative experience and we have the experience of what I believe to be true isn't that we actually start to question, well, are these other things true? Remember the first time that happened to me, there was a sense of, oh wow, well, if this that I so strongly believed was absolute and change, then what else is possible? And that opens up so much freedom and possibility. So we work with where we are, and I want to talk through Maslow's motivation model because most people, they have a very simplified understanding of Maslow's, it's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so this is a way of understanding how we tend to operate and prioritize stuff. This goes in relation with the video on neurological levels of change. So on the base level of Maslow's, this is Maslow's research, and I'm not going to talk too much about him as a person. You can reference the book that's there, but this is just about this model. So at the base of the model is our physiological needs, and that's like our physiological needs are water, air, food. Physiological needs. This is what we need to kind of grow, right? Without this, we would have malnutrition. We'll be deficient in some ways. I love the quote that says, to a starving person, food is God. And so this physiological needs really speaks to that. What do we need physiologically, right? What do we need? And so then when we have those needs, we ascend beyond that. When we have those needs met, we can then consider the next level, because basically the way this model goes is we're not available for the higher level until this level is met, right? The quote, to a starving person, food is God. But when you fill their belly, then God is food. So we're working through this model as we come up to that. So after physiological needs is safety needs. Safety needs are shelter, right? Effectively, we need shelter, and we need to feel we're not going to be attacked by animals, predators, weather conditions, things like that. So we got to feel safe. So once we have our physiological needs met, then we feel safe. We're not in any immediate threat or danger. Then there's the next level needs, which is love and belonging. Is there a tribe? Do I feel like I belong? Am I a part of a group? This is the love and belonging needs. And these are essential survival needs, right? It's not optional that we feel loved and that we belong. It's not optional. We need this. If we don't have this, we feel a sense of deficiency. So in this mental maturation, what we're doing is we're looking at where these needs weren't met, so that as we resource ourselves, we can go back and be that loving parent and give that to ourselves, right? Love and belonging, like a broader belonging. Let's say we never felt we belonged within a certain community, then we broaden. And we go to, well, what's bigger than that? What's bigger than that? And what's bigger than that? Because sometimes it's the thing that's bigger than that is what feels truer. If you're here, it's no coincidence, right? You're operating on a level of soul that has brought you here. It's no coincidence. So these love and belonging needs, they're so important. And it may not have ever been met before by those around us. And so there's an opportunity there for us to discover new ways of love and belonging, to meet those needs, and through community and through support. And that's what we get to do for one another. Esteem needs is, it's like a sense of, I'm gonna simplify and use the term valuable and worthwhile. Yeah, like self-esteem is, I esteem myself, I hold myself in high regard, right? It's how do you consider yourself? What's your sense of self? So this self-esteem, so esteem needs is like, there's self-esteem and there's community esteem, other esteem, but there's, beneath that was love and belonging. So beyond that is like, am I of value? Am I able to contribute something of value? This is esteemed. Am I esteemed in some way? And this is understanding our unique gifts and our specialness. That's what these esteem needs are here, right? We need to know, what do we bring? There is something that you bring to the world that only you can bring. How do I know that? Well, you wouldn't exist if that wasn't the case, right? And when I say that only you can bring, I mean, it's part of the fabric, it's part of the texture of this beautiful tapestry that is us, right? We look at the whole tapestry, every thread that's in it is essential, is valuable to the bigger picture. If any of these four, like physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging needs, and esteem needs are not met, we're operating in deficiency. So we have this lack that we then experience, and we're in this deficiency. And beyond that is where we can come to growth, right? So we might need to do some cleaning up of these survival-based programs, meeting our own deficiency needs first, right? And when I say I mean we as a collective, we as a group together, as a community. And then we go beyond that to cognitive needs. It's like, am I stimulated? My curiosity is piqued. Am I able to grow? So if you're watching this video on YouTube, then there's some element of your cognitive needs being fulfilled. So if you go back to the video on pure awareness, I talk about parts, the different parts of ourselves. And so we may have some parts that, that didn't have certain of these aspects met, and then other ones that are different stages of development and maturation. So cognitive needs, where our intellect is being stimulated. This is literature and poetry, and this is growth when we're considering our cognitive needs. And then above from that is our aesthetic needs. That's beauty and beauty and art, basically. And so we then meet those needs of beauty and art, and then we have this experience of self-actualization. Our self-actualization is, am I reaching my potential? That's what self-actualization is about. The gift that's in me, am I giving it to the world, right? Am I able to share my gifts with the world in the way that I would like to? Am I meeting my potential, actualizing my potential? And then a lot of people think that the model ends there with self-actualization, but actually towards the very end of Maslow's life, he kind of added on self-transcendence. And self-transcendence is the point at which we merge. We merge our sense of self with a greater sense of self. And when that happens, we no longer think about ourselves in the same, I'm going to use the term selfish way. I think selfish is a wonderful thing. When selfish is aware of the interconnectedness of all that is. So we transcend the limited kind of small egoic self and discover, this is when we move beyond the personality and go into presence. And then beyond presence is when we get to the unspeakable of pure awareness, where there's nothing that can be said about that. So that is Maslow's motivation model in a snapshot. A very simplistic explanation. I wanted to keep these videos to the best of my ability. Sweet and succinct feels better than short and sharp. Yeah, I don't want to keep them short and sharp. I want them sweet and succinct. Yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. And I'd love to know what you'd love me to dive more deeply into or expand upon, what else you'd love to know. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Sending you so much love.